Welcome to the 2014 Memorial Day presentation. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the playing of taps.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Freedom is not free. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years. How many died on foreign soil, how many mothers' his tears. How many pilots his planes shot down, how many died at sea. How many foxholes were soldiers' graves. No, freedom isn't free. I heard the sound of taps one night, when everything was still. I listened to the bugler play, and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen, when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands, with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom isn't free.
Hello, HRMS. I am Justin Schwer, and today I am interviewing Rico Piatelli. So, Rico, thank you for being here, and thank you for giving your service to protect our country.
Thank you for having me.
Our first question for you today is, in which branch of the armed forces did you serve, and for how long?
So when I graduated college, I went into the Army, and I stayed in there for 4.5 years.
Where did you serve during your tours?
So I did one tour in Afghanistan, and that was in the northeast part of the country. We had about 300 kilometers we used to patrol in, about 30 miles of the border of Pakistan.
Why did you to join the military?
There's many reasons why I decided to go, but probably the main reason was that I've been blessed with a great life, and I'm really thankful for what this country's afforded myself and my family, so I thought I had to give back.
What was life like around the barracks?
It was always busy. It was always things going on. The schedule, one of the great parts about the military is no day's the same. Some days we'd be going out to the woods and training, and then they would be gone for 2 weeks, so you never really knew how long you'd be in one place or how long it would be when you got there.
Interesting. Tell us about the achievement you are most proud of during your service.
Well, there's a lot I'm proud of during my service, but I'd say probably the most memorable one was getting all my soldiers back home safely to their families.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What or who did you miss most while over in Afghanistan?
It's funny, when you're over there, you miss a lot. All the little things, the fast food,
Yeah.
friends, family, home-cooked meals, but most importantly, just being able to go home, relax, turn on the TV, and watch your favorite sports team.
How was the food?
So the food, it's almost like two different tales, because when we would go out on longer patrols, we'd have what we called MREs, meal ready to eat, and those are good for almost a decade, so you can imagine how those taste, but I'll give them credit, they've improved. But then when you go back to the larger bases, they had local Afghan staffs that would prepare traditional American meals. There was hamburgers, hot dogs, all that, and being so far from the States, you really couldn't complain too much.
Yeah. What were your favorite hobbies as a middle school student in Danvers?
I used to love, and still do, love playing hockey. I was fortunate when I was in middle school. A lot of my good friends were in the same classes as us, and we played in the same hockey teams.
What was your favorite memory from your years as a middle school student?
So when I moved to Danvers, I was in the 7th grade, so I missed that first year of middle school at 6th grade. But my favorite part during middle school was at the end of my 7th grade year, going into the summer break. I'd made so many friends during that 7th grade year that the summer was so much better than the year prior.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for your service again.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no.
The American hero. The American hero always comes through to capture our hearts with spirit so true. Some proudly are soldiers who march in harm's way, ensuring our freedom courageously stay. While others come forth as civilians, so brave, determined in purpose, so steadfast to save, we should always keep clear a place in our heart, for each has value beyond precious art. Their duty to country will not be surpassed. Please honor their courage, for some it's their last. We live in a world which can be so hard to bear. Thank God for these people, how greatly they care. Do ponder new heroes and what they will face, and pray for their safety no matter their place. Our heritage brings out the best we all know. Our great book of heroes is destined to grow.
Whenever you're ready.
Now it's time to test your knowledge about our nation's military history by shouting out the answers to these trivia questions. When did Memorial Day become an official U.S. holiday? A. 1776, B. 1865, C. 1945, or D. 1971? The answer is D. Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day, 3 years after the Civil War, but Congress did not make it an official federal holiday until 1971. How many wars has the United States been involved in? A. 7, B. 10, C. 12, or D. 20? The answer is C. According to the Department of Veteran Affairs, our country's first war was the American Revolution, and the most recent war is the Global War on Terror, which started in 2011 and is still ongoing. Which war was the first to see women fight in combat? A. Revolutionary War, B. World War II, C. Vietnam, or D. the Gulf War? The answer is A. Deborah Sampson of Massachusetts enlisted in the Continental Army. However, she enlisted under the name Robert Shirtley. Which war did the U.S. suffer the most casualties? A. Civil War, B. World War I, C. World War II, or D. Korean War? The Civil War was the bloodiest war in our history by far. Approximately 625,000 Union and Confederate soldiers lost their lives during their darkest war in our history. Which two branches of the military trace their beginnings right here on the North Shore? C. Coast Guard and Navy, D. Army and Navy, C. Marines and Navy, or D. National Guard and Navy? The answer is D. The National Guard started in Salem. There is quite a debate between Beverly and Marblehead, as they both claim to be the birthplace of the American Navy. Which war was the draft used for the first time? A. Revolutionary War, B. Civil War, C. World War I, or D. World War II? The answer is B. Congress passed the Conscription Act on March 3, 1863. The act required all males between the ages of 20 and 45 to register for the draft. However, a person could get out of it by either paying $300 or finding a substitute. How many U.S. veterans from World War I are alive today? A. 0, B. 15, C. 72, or D. 108? The answer is A. On February 27, 2011, Frank Buckles, the last surviving U.S. veteran from World War I, died. According to the Department of Veteran Affairs projections, there will only be 15,000 veterans from World War II alive 15 years from now.
In Flanders Field. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks still bravely singing fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.